Maybe 11.
I mean, the thing is we're not gonna get back until like
Yeah.
8 or something, right? So
Like
poker, you want at least I'd say 3 hours.
We'll just play however long we feel like it,
Yeah.
and then
we need chips though.
people can stay, people can leave,
We need
and
chips.
then we can go do We do need chips.
Auto's on the way back today.
Why don't we just use quarters?
I
did that in middle school.
Yeah.
I did that, man. I was in like
cash.
No, I did that.
Cash and quarters.
I was literally what grade is it?
Table.
I was literally in the 4th grade, and I would always bring a pocket full of quarters with me to school.
Yep.
Should I be saying this?
No.
No?
No,
Oh,
I mean it's fine. Sorry. I said no.
No, should it be? No, you're probably right. Where I would literally ask my parents for lunch money. And I'd always try to make I would make a profit of it. It's like I only need like $2 for lunch, and I'd say, "Mom, can I have $4?"
Yep.
For lunch. And I'd use $2 of it to turn into quarters, and then we'd play Texas Hold'em.
And then you could grow it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I profited certainly. We'd have to be a little bit secretive about it. Like we did it outside on the picnic
Yeah, I'm
tables.
sure your teachers probably didn't.
Yeah, we couldn't. Well,
gamble.
some of them would like play with us.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. All of that never happened. It was all a joke. Never did. I don't do illegal things. Okay, Tophat and Covariance, please, at this point in time, mute your stream. If you comply, thank you. Appreciate that. You can watch the VOD afterwards. But now that we're talking to future Covariance in Tophat, welcome to the VOD. I hope this is beneficial to you, and I hope you win this game. So, who are we going to start with?
Let's do Tophat.
Okay, Tophat. So we got a ZVP on Aquilon Wastes. Feel like the main objectives right now is deciding, okay, do I want a 15 hatch? Do I want to get an earlier pool?
Tophat doesn't think we remember him. We played at least 5 arcade games with him.
Yeah.
He said he was doing one of the coaching things before, though. I don't remember the coaching thing.
Oh, did he? Oh, well.
Was that? Yeah.
Well, hopefully he learned a little
I remember
bit.
him with the arcade games.
We might. I mean, I know we did a lot of it in the past.
Yeah.
I don't remember, honestly. So, early game for Zerg. It's like, okay, do I want a 15 hatch? Do I want to get an early pool? What are the risks associated with it? Is my opponent doing a Forge Fast expand? Is he doing a Gateway expand? Should I drone scout? What are your opinions on all this, Mr. Nick?
If I was a Zerg, I always go hatch first, but I wouldn't recommend it. Just
Yep.
because, like, unless you're good at defending cannon rushes, you're going to be cannoned a lot going hatch first. So, I like what he's doing now. 15 pool, or I mean,
Oh, he could have taken hatchery there.
Yep.
Oh, now we can't, though. I think...
No.
Oh.
The pro probably could have blocked
Yeah.
it, but I mean, this is fine.
Ooh,
Everything
I
he's doing
wonder
is fine.
And
Now,
yeah.
the one thing I really don't like is his Overlord should always go to the natural.
Natural.
Yep. Always go
Tophat, send it to the natural.
He's sending it to the main, or he's sending it like right here, I think.
Dude,
to the
his
randoms.
mom gave him a Slurpee. Lennox! Can I have a Slurpee? Lennox! 1 blink. 2 blinks is no. Dang it.
Yep. 2 blinks is no.
Lennox, you see, you're going to ask me a favor one of these days.
You want to do it?
Do what?
Do a favor for him?
Yes, of course I would.
Well, okay. That's what I'm saying.
Lennox, do you want me to get you a Slurpee right now, Lennox? 1. Okay.
All right, go.
Well, I can't. I'm busy.
I can handle it.
I'm commentating this game.
You just said you
All right,
do
fine.
a favor for
Let me
him.
get on Seamless.
All right.
All right, you handle
All right, I'll handle it. You're going to go on Seamless and order him a Slurpee.
You want one?
I get a smoothie, not a Slurpee.
What?
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna switch over to Covariance. I like the way Tophat was opening. Covariance is doing a gateway expand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wall off. I like the build order. It looked like it was a 21 Nexus followed by Mothership Core, Chrono boosting gateway, getting a Zealot. Yeah, Zealot's fine because he wants to get a Sentry next probably. I was gonna add in some gateways to wall off.
So should he try to incorporate pressure with this? I've seen a lot of Protoss players sometimes include a Zealot, throw a Zealot across the field, just try to apply a little bit of pressure. Maybe force some Lings out. What do you think about all that?
Not if you go Nexus first.
Okay.
You do incorporate pressure.
Oh, did he go Nexus? Oh, I thought he
Yeah.
went Gateway. Wait.
No, he went Nexus before he built any units.
Oh,
it was a gateway
got it.
expand, but it was a 21 Nexus,
Yeah.
right? So
But other alternatives that people could potentially try?
I like this better, personally, and I would definitely recommend it if you just want to get a really streamlined build, where you don't have to... The more stuff you're doing, the more you're going to mess up in your build.
Right.
And it's kind of... The other ones are a little bit... You have to be way more map aware, because if you're out pressuring, 6 Zerglings walking your base, you're going to take some heat, right? Because there's nothing worse than having some random Zerglings pop up in your base when you have a Zealot Stalker Militia Core across the map.
Sure.
This probe doesn't need to be in the wall anymore, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, just the Zealot. The Zealot can hold it down.
Yeah, and actually, honestly, I would have preferred this pylon to be back here, and then this gateway could be on top of the other gateway, or it could be right here. And either way, there'd be a this gateway alone can make a one-channel entrance. Because if you notice, it's overlapping, excuse me, 2 notches with the other gateway. It could have just been where the pylon is, and it would have a one entryway space.
Okay.
And then, of course, because these 2 pylons are kind of vulnerable and everything gets empowered. I like this pylon.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, these are
a little
better
bit closer,
spots.
yeah.
But also, the Zergs are more likely to spot them. So maybe
yeah.
you do 1 warp in, and then as you do it, you build another pylon here.
I like at the top middle. I think there's a nifty spot for a pylon too. All the way to the left, near the up, left, up. Like against the crevice there, next to the rock on the right.
Right here?
Yeah. Over to the right a little bit more, maybe. I think a pylon right there is pretty nifty. No.
I mean, they're always going to take their 3rd here, almost always. You're right that this is the best spot to take the 3rd here.
Oh yeah,
But
I
like,
guess that's what I'm meaning.
Very few Zergs will do that because
Maybe a little bit later in the game,
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a pylon somewhere in that vicinity, I think is a good place.
I agree. But for this push, you'd rather have them on this side.
Right.
The Monster Core, that's fine, take some damage. Not a big deal. All right, let's switch over to Zerg. You're being attacked. The build order looked good, except you never scouted this area, which is the most important area to scout. So that's definitely a mistake. Seems a theme among Zergs. You're not scouting for pylons. Roaches, where's the other queen? This queen needs to be heading down to help out, and there should be more queens being built. Oh, wait, does he only have 2 queens? He has 3. Okay. Well, now he has 2. The queen's definitely coming to support out, but you're going to lose the hatchery. And now this is different because he didn't do a super fast tech like we saw from Stardust.
Right.
And so this kind of sucks. If you don't do a super fast tech, losing your 3rd to gateway pressure really sucks. How to recover.
Yes.
Step 1, don't build roaches.
Don't build roaches.
Hey, roaches being built. If you're going to build roaches, hope you can kill them, which actually with these 2 weakened pylons. Okay, you know what? With those pylons there, and he knows about it too. Wait, how does he know about it? Oh, I was not through position. Never mind. Oops. He does know about it. I don't know. It's still kind of risky. Building roaches puts him all in. He's all in now.
So he has to counter and do damage.
He has to
and more importantly, the Zerg needs to identify, or the Protoss needs to identify this.
Yep.
And react. How?
I like Void Rays are great if you have Stargate. If you have Robo, just crank out Immortal. Make sure you're warping in sentries back at home. So let's talk about it. So the Zerg's all in now. Let's hope he realizes that. From a Protoss point of view, he should immediately be building. I think you don't even have to build 2 cannons. Well, you probably should, especially with all this extra minerals. 2 cannons would be great. How come he only has 300 gas? I think his 3rd and 4th gas are very late. Plus, he only has 2 on each.
Right.
And he only has 2 here, so he's missing a lot of gas.
Okay.
And double Stargate off 2 base, I would not advise. It's playable, but I would have liked to see 1 Stargate cranking out Void Rays, and then the other gas on Sentry Warpins. Because right now, he actually, well, the Zerg's not attacking for some reason.
Okay.
The Zerg could have been across the map.
That's what he needs to be doing since he's all in.
The Zerg actually, if right when he recall up and if he started attacking, he'd probably be here right now, and
Right.
Protoss should be dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he would take enough damage that he would just kill the pylons, everything be unpowered. He could Photon Overcharge in Nexus.
But it'd be very, very difficult.
Yeah. I mean...
So attacking right away with the roaches is absolutely essential. Now that this might not work...
Oh, Force Field! Okay. It's not going to work now. There's 2 Void Rays out.
So now, options for Zerg.
Okay, so Zerg sees Void Rays. He knows he has roaches. That's what he sees, right? We'll go to Zerg.
Yep.
This 3rd is... There's no way that can survive if Void Rays walk towards there. Zerg needs to go for insanely cost-efficient units. He's very far behind.
Right.
Make sure he's mining all his gas. So
Swarm Host, Infestor...
He has to go Swarm Host.
Swarm Host.
I don't think he has gas to really go Infestors right now.
Yeah.
I think he has to go Swarm Host Queen and just crank out Queens like a maniac.
Right.
Maybe some Hydras, but even Hydras are expensive because if you want Hydras to be useful, you have to get the range upgrade and you have to get the... Well, you don't have to get the speed. I would not be getting the speed upgrade. The range is much more important. For this position, the range is much more important.
So this hatchery should be denied.
Yep. It's going to die.
And there's even Zealots
So
there.
Zerg needs to be going Swarm Host right now. It's really his only way to get in the game.
Yeah.
Mutas are another comeback way, but if you see Void Rays, they're just, they could easily go to Phoenix. So
Sure.
you need to be going Swarm Host now. Step 1. Step 2, make Queen spread the creep out. And your goal is to take this 3rd and get creep out here and put some stack defense here, maybe some Spores. Spores are your best stack defense friend. Spores are actually insanely good at Swarm Host for 2 ways. 1, they're cheaper than Spines. 2, they have more life than Spines. 3, I believe they have more. Let me check the damage output. I actually forget. So it's 15 with 0.86. It's like 18 or something like that. I think that's actually exactly 18 damage per second. And this is, let's say versus armored, 30 at 1.85. It's basically similar damage per second. So similar damage per second. The Spore has more life though, and it's cheaper, and it only attacks the units that are scary, right? The Spine, assuming you're not going to micro your Spines and Spores, because you're not going to. I mean, you're basically not going to.
Right.
The Spore will only attack Void Raids, Colossi, Observers, Mothership Core, right? Observers are the thing you want to attack most, and it's amazing. Like the number of Protoss who will always lose their Observers if you have Spores and Swarm Hosts combined is near sub GM 95%. That sound about right?
Okay.
I figure probably 95%. I mean, it's not easy to keep the Observers alive, right? They just kind of do what they want. Obviously, pros will. Spores and Swarm Hosts can be insanely cost efficient. They're a great way to come back. Roach Hydra is the worst way to come back, unless you can.
Because those are units you kind of throw.
Yeah, they're a unit that like is great in numbers. This is nice.
A couple nice pickoffs.
There should have been a Mothership for there probably.
Back to Protoss, I think we should. What should the Protoss be up to right now? Like I feel like denying expansions is great. Yep. But what is he thinking? How does he preserve his life in this game? What is he doing wrong, right, etc.?
So he wants to say, okay, he wants to make sure these guys should be mining gas. I mean, that's obviously something he knows. And again, he's still actually mining gas. He's still the same problem from the beginning of the game, where his gas is so low.
Right. Because
he only has 2 in all these assimilators, so he really needs to keep track of his macro. He needs to go for either, well, if he wants to play passive, either Storm or Colossi. Almost one of the best ways from here. If you know they're not going Swarmos, which he knows from Roach Hydra, get up to about 12 gateways, and then just get Void Raids plus Sentry Zealot Stalker, good upgrades, and just overrun your opponent. Because pure gateway units and or Void Raids are roughly cost even with Roach Hydra. With good Force Fields and Time Warps and Guardian Shield, they're cost advantageous, and you know you have better economy. And it takes not that much skill. You just keep warping the units and you attack move, and you're going to win. Yeah. Because you have more economy, keep it simple. If you want to go for Colossi or Storm, that's great too. But one of those 3 things needs to happen. And unfortunately, right now, he's not doing either, so he's vulnerable. He's not going for Colossi. Well, he is slowly working his way to Templar, but he can't go Templar with all the gas he's missing because he's barely mining gas from a lot of his bases.
So this is a scary. This is kind of scary.
And his gateway count is non-existent, so he can't utilize his superior economy. We can see that with almost 2,300 minerals and 800 gas. I mean, he should still hold us on a problem.
Yeah.
As long as he keeps warping. Oh, but he has no gateways. I forgot. I assumed I would see like 10 Zealots warp in, but it's not happening.
The Void Rays should clean this up though.
Yes, they should. They should deal with those roaches as well. But he did lose he pulled probes.
Repower gateways immediately. Add on 20 gateways.
Yeah. Pulling probes is a big mistake also.
Not 20 gateways. Yeah. Probes need to be running away.
The Nexus was not going to die there.
Yeah.
If the Nexus is going to die, pull probes. But it should be clear whether or not the Nexus is in danger.
Yeah.
And I don't think many players would have said the Nexus was in danger in that situation.
So at this point, chrono boosting out the probes back out because you lost a few.
Yep.
Adding on 6 gateways, 7, 8.
Yeah, and he's taking enough damage at this point. He definitely needs to start going for some more cost-effective units. If the Zerg was macroing hard, transfer some probes over to this space would be nice.
Speaking of which, we should go to the Zerg point of view, I think, at this point.
So Zerg should be thinking...
Good little push there.
Yes, but he should not be waving the mission accomplished flag. He was like light years behind.
Yep.
Now, at best, he's even, right? He needs to have... Oh, all right, Zerg is still way behind, I think. Yeah, Zerg has like no drones.
He's just making units.
He's got to have like 40 drones or something? 48, yeah. So Zerg has to kill this base or kill all the production to win.
So do you think making a bunch of drones as that initial attack was happening rather than all these different Hydras would have been better?
Yeah, because these Hydras aren't going to break the Protoss.
Yeah, so instead of making the decision to make 20 more Hydras, that engagement was great, but a follow-up, not even a remax, it's just you're adding on more Roaches and Hydras, it's not going to kill them?
Yeah, if you don't think you can kill the Protoss, you can't be going Roach Hydra.
Yeah.
So ideally, at this situation, he would have drone behind up to about 80 drones in this case, actually. You'd want to go up for 4 bases, you want to go up to 80. You can kill some off later, but you definitely want to go up to 80, and you want to throw down an Infestation Pit immediately.
What if he has the Bly mentality, where he just wants to say low econ and just brute force all day long?
Then he has to do what he's doing now and deny a third.
Okay.
Which is actually, if he can kill this third, he's fine. I'm surprised there's no Protoss units besides Void Rays.
I think gateways are just now finished up, so he's going to warp in a lot. So
Yeah.
2,000 minerals here.
I mean, this Nexus will die if Zerg just puts the roaches on it. I think. I mean, if Protoss could spend his money, he would still hold this. There's Immortal there too, that'll help. And there's also no Mothership Core, Photon Overcharger to make
So back to Protoss' point of view. Why is this going so wrong? I mean...
So he just now finished gateways, but he hasn't had a chance to warp in units.
So you want to add those gateways on right after the third is like started, like right when you start the third kind of.
He does have Storm, yeah. He should never have sent the Void Rays in.
Yeah.
The Void Rays on their own aren't going to beat the Hydras. And the thing is, he could have easily afforded to lose this third if he kept let's say he kept the 5 Void Rays alive, waited for the Psystorm and the Zealots, and then just killed the whole Zerg army.
He might kill this here. Do good storms.
Yeah, he needs to make Archons.
Archon. Immortal's alive. A Zealot warp in, and this is going to clean this up.
I don't think the Zerg's too sad, though.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he denied the third, killed a bunch of Void Rays. But did he drone behind that, is the question.
At this point, if he kills a third, he might not even want to. He might just want to keep denying the third over and over again. We're 21 minutes in the game. If player doesn't have a third base, you're going to starve out very soon.
Right.
And so even though the Zerg has very low drone count, at least he can move them from the main to somewhere else, right?
Yep. And it looks like he does not have a lot of drones. He might have been mixing in a few.
I believe he's still the same amount. Oh, no, he got a few. You're right, 56.
Yeah.
So right now, Zerg's mentality should be 100% denied a third. And she should make nothing but roaches to do that. He already killed all the Void Rays. Hydras are kind of worse than roaches at killing anything on the ground. So you'd much rather be cranking out roaches. And then I don't like the Hive, actually. Well, it's not bad, but I'm normally the biggest proponent of Hive, but if you're...
Like, the objective, I'm trying to think, Vipers maybe, but your opponent already has Templar.
Yeah. That's actually true. I mean, upgrades is the only reason.
Or upgrades, certainly.
That's pretty much the main reason.
Yeah, that's probably why, yeah.
I mean, eventually Broodlords with this type of mix.
Yep.
Could be decent.
So let's say he doesn't end up hitting the third. What else can he do? Take a fourth, drone up.
I mean, he's had this fourth for a while, but he hasn't really had the fourth.
Sure.
If you're not going to kill a third, you want to be at minimum 70 drones.
So he's kind of in between a bunch of stuff right now.
Yeah.
Not really making a decision any which way.
Yeah, I don't think he can kill this third. If he remax instead of going Hive, or if he just actually spend his resources on more roaches, he could definitely kill this third if there's like 20 more roaches here. Oh, there's Hydras. So if you're gonna make Hydras, you have to find a way to make your army not really weak, which means how do I make the Hydras do anything? Well, if my opponent has their army in a blob, and I approach with Hydras, Storm and or Colossus will kill them all. They'll all be useless, right? That's number one. So I can't let my opponent be in a blob and have me have to come to him. So the only way to make Hydras work is with either Swarmhost or Vipers. Swarmhost, your opponent has to like blink on a Swarmhost, if they like charge really quickly and break through. The Locust will often kill all the Templar if they're not very careful with them. So Hydras can work with Swarmhosts. And they can work with Vipers. You pull units into the Hydras, you never have to charge your opponent. And against High Templar base, I would pick Swarmhosts. So if he's going to make Hydras, he has to make a ton of Swarmhosts to make it actually work.
All right.
At least at this point. There's some Hydra rushes that can work, but not this late in the game.
Okay.
I don't mind this. Just be ready to back up if your opponent's army. Because this army, you don't really want to lose all the Hydras. You want to trade off maybe a small bit to remax in Swarmhost, but you still want... You want maybe like this much of the army, and you can lose like this much, and then your extra supply in that can be Swarmhosts. You also, I like this Bork. Well, this one's totally pointless.
If a Warp Prism is over there in the main.
Yeah, so I mean, it should be on a high ground though.
Sure.
Or like he should have one up here, 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 or something. These two, maybe this one to the right more, and this one down the right more.
All right, should we go back to Protoss?
Yep. All right, so Protoss is making a Psystorm-based army.
He seems pretty terrified of a potential attack. Or, well, he just, I don't know, that
third only
seems...
12 probes here. Well, you know what the good news is, because he had 2 of each of these gases for so long, they're only halfway mined out at the 26-minute mark.
Good. So, composition-wise and scouting-wise, what are his goals right now?
So, the problem is because he's had no gas the whole game, his army is very Zealot-heavy, which isn't that great. Oh, So I mean, this is not really a fight he particularly wants, honestly, because he's only on 3 bases mining out, so he doesn't want to trade units because he won't be the replacement as fast as his opponent. But he also wants to make his army better. So ideally, maybe a War Prism and use some of these Zealots as harassing for him. Like, it's good to have someone army, but you need something more powerful as well. So trade off some Zealots, picking off bases. You want to scout this base with War Prism, this base, harass this one, and maybe the main 2 for tech. As you're doing that, you've got a good number of Templar. Your next step is Colossi. So exactly what he's doing, adding Colossi. I love that. I'd like to see some cannons here. I would like to see no more Zealots be made for the next 5 minutes.
I think he made 3.
Yeah. I don't like that. Saves him a Phoenix lift, but it's not like he was short on energy.
You'd rather those be...
Cannons.
Cannons.
Yep, right here. And cannons right here, too.
Yep.
He's in a position where he really just wants to go turtle mode hardcore because his economy is very bad. His army is decent now. Oh, but now the storm mode's right at his door. He didn't know about this until now, so I wasn't trying to address that threat. He definitely wants to start a second
what he could have been
robo.
doing better is potentially scouting that, right?
Yes.
Phoenixes.
Well, War Prism Zealot Harass is really...
War Prism Zealot Harass.
That's the best way to scout because you're using
now he's
some of these...
freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, I like this attack here. Back away from the... Oh, wait. You can go right now. Yeah. If there's no Locust, you can fight.
Get
Storms.
the storm.
Oh, and he Storms killing Locust and a Storms at the same time. A great engagement here for Protoss. More Storms.
Oh.
Spam him like a maniac. Don't be...
Like a maniac.
Yeah.
Archons.
No need to be miserly with Storms.
Nice attack there.
Yeah. I don't know if he should keep pushing. Imagine if there was like a high fizzing. It's all valuable units that aren't actually.
Yep.
Like Voiders and Archons need support, right?
So back to Zerg, we see Roaches and Hydras in production. Okay or not okay with it?
I'm actually okay with the Roach Hydra Remax, if he can Remax, but he can't.
Right. So
I'm
instead,
not okay,
instead of the Roaches and Hydras there, drones and swarm hosts.
How many drones does he have? Yeah. Well, this whole game has been on way too few drones.
Yeah. So moving forward.
I'm trying to think of a way he can make an army. With this low drone count, I'm trying to figure out how he can make an army that can beat the Protoss. Because the Protoss now has a decent economy of his own. I think almost at this point, he either has a drone and then go for like a Swarm Host Infestor Broodlord combination. Like, that's very gas heavy, which is good because he's got so much gas.
Right.
But that would take him, he's like, that's going to take him 10 minutes to get. Fine. Build, drones and spines and wait it out. Maybe some Vipers to help your spine wall if you need them. I hesitate to say too many Vipers because this opponent's still Templar based. This is cool, actually. I like this. It's nice and annoying. This is a good fight for him. He should take this. Yep.
The Hydras Roaches.
Oh, but he shouldn't move command. He's trying to stutter step into Archons, which is really bad.
Right.
And stutter stepping into Void Rays is useless as well because it's not like...
Well, he was also trying to dodge the storm, so even better would be maybe spread out. Kind of
yeah, because he was running through the storms, so
yeah.
he was anti-dodging him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, even just attack moving, like spreading out is great if you do it before the battle. Unless you're insanely good, you try to like dodge storms mid-battle, you're probably gonna mess it up and not dodge that much. Like you'll be like, oh, I got a storm, but it was actually gone anyway at that point.
Right.
And then number 2 is that while you're doing that, you're losing damage output. So dodging is great if you're very confident in it, but otherwise, spread out before the battle, and then kind of just attack move.
Sure.
Again, the same problem. Like a Roach Hydra Remax right after that first battle would have killed the 4th of Protoss, without a doubt. If he just instantly remade Max Roach Hydra and attacked.
Yep.
His opponent would not have had time to get like more than one storm up, and Archon Void Ray's not gonna beat Roach Hydra. If it's just like a small force like that. Pure Hydra will lose to pretty much everything. Although he has the numbers, he might warp. There's no Zealot warp in, which is... Remember I said never make Zealots for 3 minutes? It's been 6 minutes.
So Protoss point of view,
Yep.
he should have Zealots, a lot more Zealots. Well, he's kind of dry on resources. It looks like.
I think he is.
Is it the worker count?
Yeah, he also could have. He should have remade some Templar. Yeah, he's only been at 49.
So I'm smelling a general theme between both these two guys. It's just they're
the
not.
last match too.
They're not prioritizing the workers.
I mean, this is a general theme amongst anyone sub-masters.
Yeah.
99% of what make him better is just making more workers.
Yeah.
And at a faster rate. So the other, I mean, that's boring, right? That's actually 99% of what separates a master from a sub-master. Once you get to like high master and stuff, then it's different. But basically, getting to Masters League is 99% learning to build workers in appropriate amounts. And so that's, but there's still 1% is fun to work on. So that's stuff like knowing what unit combinations to make.
Right.
Like Road Charger, I said, would work if he.
But how much, like thinking about how much better this would be for both players if they had, built more workers, kind of a thing. This game would be a lot easier for both of them. I mean, we've seen the Zerg player has only had about 40, 45, 50 drones, and the Protoss just not rebuilding the probes might be an issue.
Yes. Tell him to go busy mode. We're observers, we can't talk. He could just go busy mode, right?
Yeah, just go busy and you don't receive any messages.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. There are privacy settings to prevent that from happening, yes?
Busy mode is your best friend.
Yeah.
So from Protoss' point of view, I don't know why he's making Phoenixes. Did he scout Nidas?
Well, he lost 2 earlier. And it helps pick up queens.
Yeah.
But you think his resources should be more attributed to making...
I mean, every Phoenix is basically a High Templar.
Right.
And those are like the best units in the game at this point, pretty much. Like, if you have an army of 20 High Templar, you can actually kill whatever Zerg throws at you. Like, you literally just storm all the locusts and keep moving forward and storm all the Swarmos.
Right.
You just blanket the entire map and storm.
Storm everywhere.
Yep. So ideally, Phoenixes, I mean, unless your opponent's going mutas and you had the Phoenix range upgrade, and it's been a... He's also been investing a lot of resources in these air upgrades. He's been definitely over-upgrading his units.
Oh, Colossus getting grappled.
Oh. Yep, losing that there.
So Templar's position to feed back those guys would be good. And storming the... Like, Templar would be, like, so good against all this, I think.
Yep. Templar, he just wants the Templar, Colossi are the 2 most important things to make. The 3rd most important is the Void Race. And then the 4th is some gateway units.
Oh, feedback.
Yeah, I don't know what...
Okay, so those Vipers, you gotta abduct onto your army.
Yeah, abducting them just... Colossi don't mind roller coasters.
No, it's not like you can frighten them.
No, they don't get sick.
They don't dysfunction based on scary events.
You should definitely have a Zealot here.
The damage is what's important.
Watchtower.
The damage dealt is what's important here.
Some DTs from Protoss would be cool.
Yeah.
If you're gonna build Phoenixes, just throw them in your army, unless you're really wanting to be scouting and harassing with them. And they'll tank some Cruthers or whatever. They'll kill them.
I like this flank attempt here.
Yeah.
Trying to wrap the Zealots around and get all that surface area.
Protoss should dominate this without a problem.
Yeah.
It's just Hydras, which... I think that's number... Alright, let's go back to Zerg.
Yep.
We talked about number 1 problem for both the players was definitely the macro and the making workers. Mm-hmm. Number 2 for Zerg is I think he keeps overestimating how good Hydras are.
Right.
And he keeps making his army based entirely around Hydras.
This isn't Brood War.
No. Yeah, that was great in Brood War. And it wasn't a Hydras were stronger in Brood War. It's they were half the supply, half the gas costs, and less mineral costs, and they were about as strong.
Right.
Like, Hydras beat everything on the ground except for AoE, and, well, Marines were even stronger in Brood War, so not Marines either. At least not with medic support, but... yeah, in StarCraft 2, Hydras are really, they should never be like, your army should never be Hydra-based unless you're doing pretty much an all-in timing.
Right.
So, Hydras, the purpose of Hydras is, like, you get a few to supplement your army so you never have anything silly happen where it's like, you just don't have any anti-air, they're kind of well-rounded, and they work really well with Vipers. And they work pretty well with Swarm Hosts. So it's never bad to have a few in the army. But if you're making, more than, let's say, 10, you better be playing super aggressive. Maybe like some either Roach Hydra. Yeah. Nidus or even just Roach Hydra try to swarm your opponent. Or Hydra Zerging trying to swarm your opponent. Or there's some Viper attacks where you like a 15-minute or 14-minute even Roach Hydra Viper attack. And that's
right.
Yeah.
All right, back to Protoss.
Yep. So Protoss is playing passive and expanding. Protoss is doing things well. I like what he's doing. Yeah, I like pretty much everything he's doing. He has a fleet beacon and Stargates, so in case Broodlords come out, he can respond to them. The one thing I really, really would love to see him do I think I said it about 15 minutes ago in the game.
Sure.
But I want to reinforce it now. You definitely want to have 2 robos. Oh, he does. Okay. Before I didn't realize he had a second one, so I messed that up.
These guys are freaking out about people messaging them.
Yeah, so there's in a normal UI, there's a button here you click.
You just hit busy, yes.
And it'll bring up all your friends list and chats, and then you can select it and turn to busy mode.
Yep.
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 Game resumed.
So he does have two robos now, but he still has probably not enough observers. He only has 1. You want about 4 observers at least. Swarm host space Zerg. Plus you definitely need some vision out here. Ideally, you'd have an observer here,
Yeah.
maybe even patrolling between these two spots. You'd have an observer here if it can stay alive, and then 2 with your army. One on a move command behind the claw side, another one just grouped in with the rest, so it can kind of go ahead a bit. So more observers, and then also War Prisms are great. Dark Shrine would be great. If I don't know, he might have it, but he hasn't been using it.
No, I don't think it does.
Yeah, it's like a DT just holding this watchtower, and the Zerg often will like not even notice, and you just get vision of what's going on over
Nice
there.
feedbacks.
Yep, well played by Protoss. One of his class that wasn't grouped, and he fixed that. Just storm
Just
everywhere.
storms everywhere.
Yep.
All over the Zerg army.
Don't really worry about storming your zealots too much.
Yep.
Yep. Easy win.
All right. Good job, Mr. Protoss. Good job, Mr. Zerg. I think a lot of things right we saw, a lot of things wrong we saw, but that's okay. We're trying to get better.
Yep. Overall, let's go for Zerg first.
Sure.
Biggest by far was worker production.
Yes.
Lack
thereof.
Lack thereof.
Sure.
Yes. I would say number 2 would have been the unit compositions. Hydralists are basically having the Hydralist as a bulkier army is a very aggressive composition. That means you have to kill your opponent.
Right.
Or deny the third. You can't be using it and just like keep fighting and trading units, because you're never going to trade well with Hydras. It's always going to be important.
Unless you have an Overseer and they send like 10 DTs at you.
Yes. But you would trade well using any combination if
Certainly.
you have an Overseer and send 10 DTs.
Certainly.
So
Fair point.
that's not an advantage.
Sure.
Well, Hydras might kill a little bit fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might feel cooler because you finally found a way Hydras can be cost efficient.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Or 1 Void Ray at a time.
Yes. Or even like 5 at a time. I mean,
5 at a time.
Void Rays without support, Hydras do fine against.
Yeah.
So that's the worker production, unit compositions, and then understanding. Actually, you know what? Even more important than unit composition, I would say unit composition number 3. Number 2 is not necessarily making the perfect unit composition. Like you said, Hydras are the perfect one.
Right.
But understanding how to play the one you have. It's much better to do with the Zerg you're there and make Hydras, but use them well. Be aggressive, be in your opponent's face, keep macroing up, denying bases. Like he could have just continued to deny the 3rd or the 4th if he was a little more aggressive. Than it is to make a better competition, but like make swarm hosts and just kind of run them into your opponent or die to a base race. So number 1, macro. Number 2, understand how to use your unit composition, which for Hydras would be aggressive, for swarm hosts is kind of turtle up and slowly take over the map. And then number 3 is make the better unit composition for the situation. So Protoss is on 4 bases. They stabilize 4 bases you cannot use for a Hydra anymore.
Fair enough.
You just can't.
Yeah. All right. Does
Protoss.
that... Oh, Protoss.
But, number 1 by far, same as macro. More than pro production, because he was okay with that for most of the game. When he lost him, he
His
forgot to
gateway
rebuild them.
timing was off.
Yes, built a lot more gateways.
There was a situation where he had like 3,000 minerals and only 2 gateways or something.
There's a pretty good general rule for both Protoss and Terran. Is 4 production buildings per base once they're kind of set up and running. So if you're on 3 bases, if your 3rd base is pretty much on the way to being saturated, you should have 12 production buildings. That could be 2 Stargates, 10 gateways, 1 Stargate, 1 Robo, 10 gate, whatever it is, right?
8 gateways, 2 robos, a Stargate, and another Stargate?
Yep. Of course, if you're building probes, the Nexuses kind of count as production buildings, so you'd have less.
Sure.
But as soon as you stop, and same thing with Terran. One of the biggest mistakes Terrans make is they count reactors as 2 buildings, really not. A barracks with a reactor builds Marines that spends money the same rate a warp gate does, or barracks with a tech lab, because a Marauder builds basically the same time, twice as much money. So, same thing. 4 production buildings per base once you're set up. It's a rough guideline.
All right. Is that anything else for Protoss?
More cannons.
Cannons are good.
More gas on non-air units. Unless your opponent's going muted, it's nice to have some void rays.
Those Phoenixes.
Yeah, but the priority is the High Templar, and then the Colossi, and then the air.
Yep. All right. So, thank you, Mr. Covariance, and our other player. What was his name?
Yes, Tophat.
Tophat. Thank you. That was kind of a joke because she was saying where you forgot.
Yeah.
Covariance and Tophat, thank you so much for participating. Coming up next, we're going to change things up a bit. We're going to have a special guest, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to need people playing. We need people to play StarCraft. So channel MLG on the North American server is where you want to be. We'll be right back after a quick break.